Hey everybody, Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center, and we certainly have a lot to discuss tonight. And we want to kick things off with a look at First Alert Live Radar because, well, it's scanning clear and dry, so it is still doing its thing out there. But this is going to look much different in less than 24 hours. We've been giving you the first alert since the weekend that we're expecting a round of rain tomorrow as well as some wind. Tomorrow is a First Alert weather day. We've been watching as clouds have been streaming in across Connecticut. A mostly cloudy sky expected overnight tonight. But if we zoom out a bit here, you can very clearly pick out the counterclockwise flow as low pressure moves out of Tennessee into Kentucky, closer to West Virginia. And that is certainly bringing a decent bout of rain to parts of the Appalachian states there, to parts of Appalachia. But all of that is headed in our direction. So we're giving you the first alert here that we do expect some showers as we get closer to dawn tomorrow. We can already see rain starting to build into parts of Maryland and Delaware, and that is headed in our direction. So tomorrow is a first alert weather day. We're focused on the greatest impacts through the evening hours, winding down overnight and especially into Friday. Rain could total 1 to 2 inches with some locally higher amounts, wind gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. We certainly will see some impacts to the evening commute from the standpoint of low visibility on the roadways. Some hydroplaning concerns there, as well as some poor drainage flooding possible, and also impacts to outdoor activities. First Alert Futurecast does show showers around dawn tomorrow. We can't rule out a bit of a wet start to the day. As we get through the morning hours and into the afternoon, we're anticipating another round of showers, eventually becoming steadier and heavier rain by 5 or 6 in the evening. These downpours certainly will bring quite a bit of rain in a very short period of time. Not only that, but we can't rule out some isolated rumbles of thunder with this. So your first alert that you might hear some rumbles out there tomorrow night. You can track all the rain with the free First Alert weather app. It continues through the evening hours. By the late evening, we start to see things tapering off, and then we will see all of this wind down heading into the start of the day on Friday. So Friday, Halloween, is actually forecast to become a bit of a better day. We'll keep the cloud around and we'll keep the rain around. We'll show you much more on that in just a moment. When it comes to rainfall totals, 1 to 2 inches, maybe some locally higher amounts. We could see some higher amounts east of us as moisture from Melissa gets pulled in. We also could see some higher amounts west of us, closer to that center of low pressure. We will also show you our model comparison here just to give you a better idea of how Connecticut could end up locally, at least, seeing some lower totals compared to areas to our west and to our east. So we'll be watching this very closely to see if things trend wetter for us or anything in the meantime. But the takeaway here is that we are expecting a good hit of rain. Wind gusts tomorrow out of the east, 20 to 25 miles an hour, perhaps as high as 30 miles per hour. And that prolonged period of an easterly wind is going to help to push extra water into Long Island Sound. So during the flooding, or rather during the high tide cycle tomorrow evening, there could be some minor coastal flooding, especially for Fairfield County. So this is your first alert that if you live along the shoreline in Fairfield County, there could just be some very minor inundation. We certainly are not expecting big issues, and then the risk for any of that will diminish as we get past tomorrow night. Poor drainage flooding, again, our second biggest concern here, but then we talk about that gusty wind, 30 to 40 miles an hour, but the greatest impact from this first alert weather day will be the heavy rain. We'll show you the wind gusts now. First Alert Futurecast shows those gusts up to, if not over 40 miles per hour, especially Thursday night, but watch how things relax heading into the morning on Friday. So we do see a bit of a lull. However, by Friday afternoon and evening, we see those wind gusts pick right back up. This is 6 p.m. on Friday, prime trick-or-treating hours. During the day Friday, we're expecting a mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures climbing back into the mid and upper 50s, could even be closer to 60 along the shoreline, and certainly windy with gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. Once we get past sunset, we're thinking 50 to 55 degrees during those prime trick-or-treating hours, but staying windy. Sunset is 5:46 on Friday. We'll give you a brief historical look at some of the Halloween statistics here in Connecticut. The warmest was last year. It was 84 degrees. It was 82 in 1946, and we've seen 74 in 1948, 1999, and most recently in 2019. Wettest Halloween was in 1939 when 1.7 inches of rain fell for the Hartford area. Just over 0.6 of an inch of rain in 1947 and in 2019. So thankfully, given the timing of this rain, we are not going to end up on that wettest list, since the rain will fall on the 30th and not the 31st. Temperatures today seasonably cool out there, lower 50s for many towns. New Haven was the warm spot today at 57 degrees. We'll take you live right now to our iCam view in Rocky Hill. So typically as we look north of the Hartford skyline, we could easily see the stars. That's not the case, and that's because we have overcast conditions across Connecticut currently, and that will be the case all night long. Here's a live look at our iCam in Old Saybrook. Note the flag is still outstretched a bit too as we look off to the north. Wind is coming out of the north and northeast. And that will be the wind direction overnight tonight and into the day tomorrow. Temperatures 45 to 50 for most communities right now, and these numbers will go down a bit more as the night goes on. Wind speeds are up 5 to 10 miles per hour or so, and again, just a little bit breezy out there, but don't worry, that breeze will ramp up not only through tonight, but especially into the day tomorrow too. We'll take you hour by hour for the remainder of the night here as temperatures slowly drop into the 40s, further into the 40s for the towns that are already there. We can't rule out a couple of isolated 30s in the Litchfield Hills. Sharon, Goshen forecast to reach about 39 tonight. Otherwise, 40 to 45 throughout most of inland Connecticut, with mid-40s prominent throughout the quiet corner too. Shoreline towns will likely be in the mid and upper 40s, and inland sections of our southern four counties will be in the mid-40s tonight. So as you send your kids out to the bus stop tomorrow morning, they certainly need to have the rain gear on hand. As we mentioned, increasing signal that we'll see some showers early on. Recess will be outside, and for the ride home, temperatures in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees. And we are expecting, again, things to be wetter as we get into the evening hours especially. So your first alert that the wetter weather will occur tomorrow evening. When it comes to foliage, we are near or past peak across most of the state right now, so we'll likely see a lot of leaf drop over the next couple of days given the breezy and eventually windy conditions that will help to strip those leaves off the trees. If you wanted to get a head start on some of the raking tomorrow, unfortunately, not a great day for it. Poor conditions. Not only are you battling the wind, but you're battling the rain, especially later on. It is worth mentioning, though, that you want to make sure any storm drains by your house are clear of leaf debris, as that could block storm drains up a bit and also increase the risk for some poor drainage flooding. On Friday, fair conditions when it comes to raking. It'll be drier, it will be drying out, but it will still be windy out there with gusts up to, if not over 30 miles per hour. First Lord 7-day forecast here showing temperatures around 58 tomorrow, 52 tomorrow night, 57 on Friday. Then we're into the 40s Friday night, 56 and breezy on Saturday, into the 30s Saturday night. We do set the clocks back this weekend as daylight saving time comes to an end. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday all looking fairly bright, seasonably mild on Monday and Tuesday with temps in the lower 60s. Great weather, actually, for Election Day. Along the shoreline, 61 tomorrow, 59 on Friday, 58 on Saturday, 57 Sunday, into the lower 60s Monday, Tuesday, back to the upper 50s by Wednesday. One of the big weather headlines over the last several days has been Melissa. We'll show you the latest on Melissa right now, a Category 1 hurricane still as it moves through the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos there, impacting those island nations, and it is forecast to keep moving northeast, perhaps strengthening back into a Category 2 hurricane overnight tonight, and then by, say, the pre-dawn hours Friday, it will make its closest pass to Bermuda. We'll take you back home and talk a bit about daylight saving time as the clocks go back an hour at 2 a.m. on Sunday. So on Saturday, the sun will rise at 7:24 and it sets at 5:44. We do get an extra hour to the weekend and an extra hour of sleep, but that means sunrise on Sunday, 6:25, sunset 4:43. So we're getting to that time of year where we are entering what is the darkest 90-day stretch of the year. Those early sunsets certainly noticeable here. It's not until late January we will have sunsets back in the 5 o'clock hour. When it comes to the normals for November, the normal high on November 1st is 57, normal low is 37. By the end of the month, the normal high falls to 46, normal low falls to 29. And in a typical November, we do see 3.5 inches of rainfall, just over, or the liquid equivalent of anything frozen. And that's because typically in November, we see 1.4 inches of snow. No snow in the forecast just yet, but it is worth mentioning. Now, when it comes to the snowiest Novembers that we have, snowiest November rather that we have experienced here in Connecticut, that would be, drum roll please. Well, we'll start with the record high because it happened last year. The warmest November day, 84 degrees, was on November 1st last year. The coldest low temperature ever recorded in the month of November, so that would be since 1905 for the Hartford area, was 1 degree back on November 24th of 1989. Snowiest was back in 1938. There it is. 15.6 inches of snow fell in the month of November, and the wettest 1972 when we had 8.53 inches of rain, or the liquid equivalent of anything frozen. And as a reminder, these records do go back to 1905 for the Hartford area. We're not expecting anything record-shattering over the next several days. On Saturday, if you're headed to the Rent for UConn's home game, make sure you bundle up because that breeze will make those mid-50s feel a bit chillier. Certainly a little bit better out there Sunday due to the fact that that we will have a calmer wind. And then we're looking great into the start of next week. So a lot to track tomorrow. Make sure you download the free First Alert Weather app. We'll have much more for you on the Wax tonight at 10 and Channel 3 tonight at 11. Also, you can join Scott Haney and Tyler Hughes tomorrow morning as they track anything that develops. And then Mark Dixon will be in tomorrow evening to bring you through the thick of it, the bulk of the rain, the heaviest rain will be moving through in the evening hours. And as always, you can download the free First Alert Weather app. Our next First Alert Weather Extra will be tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. streaming live on YouTube and WFSB+. Hope you all enjoyed this. Hope you all have a great night. Stay dry tomorrow.